Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey. I just had to throw that in there because your voice, it went out.
My voice went out right then.
Yeah. Yeah, when
Oh,
you were saying your name. So
oh, the
I thought
irony in that is that yours went out too when you were saying yours.
mine
So
went out on purpose.
no, yours went. So you was doing the purpose one, but the computer said, "No, I got you, player," and did it for you. But all right, on today's episode, we are going to be discussing Willow, the 1988 movie, and then we're just going to segue into the show that is from this year. Was it this year or last year?
Last year, I believe. I think it came out late last year.
Um,
November, I do believe.
it's not a good movie. Let's go ahead and
Hey,
throw
hey,
this
hey,
out.
hey,
Not movie, the show.
hey, hey.
My bad. Brandon's coming at me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything by that. But yeah. So without further ado, we're gonna get into it. Uh, we won't do what we watch. I will say that I did see what is it? With the mermaid,
The
Little
Little
Mermaid.
Mermaid.
There you go.
He's seen it, but he forgot what it was called. That
I,
cannot be a good sign.
no, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I think it's too long. That's my biggest gripe in the movie is just the length in it. It's not. It, I don't think they really made it for kids in a sense of with the length because it's too long. It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes. A kid's attention span is like an hour or something.
Yeah,
And
I
so
agree.
that's why like I think they drug it out. And I looked at the original movie, and it was only like an hour or something. So I think they just padded the runtime. There's no need for it. But other than that, that's my only gripe in the movie. I liked it.
I'll just mention real quick what I saw this week. Just one that came out, with Little Mermaid, The Machine. Um, got if you're Star Wars fans, you got Mark Hamill in it. Um,
Was
it was great, shockingly great. I had a great time. It's dumb, it's stupid, it's fun, it's great.
there you go.
Aaron has no interest whatsoever, but it's great.
Yeah, all I heard is it's great. And something about Star Wars. You cut out.
Oh, Mark Hamill. I'm cutting out. Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good
Oh,
sign, but
oh,
it's
oh! It's
it's
the
it's
it's the guy. It's the dude that had a story about like his crazy backstory, right?
yeah, Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he robbed a train in Russia. Yeah. It's I don't care if it's true or not. I mean, it's bad if it is, but it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Oh, there's a Russian Cody Rhodes in the movie, by the way.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Uh. Well, that's cool. And then I know that before we get to Willow, because we're not gonna spend a lot of time, but you did say that you seen Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. That was the best movie I saw this week. But the most fun I had in the theater was The Machine. But storyline wise, film, cinema, it was Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. A great coming of age story for girls. But I enjoyed it. I enjoy coming of age films though. I know you do too. I
Maybe the
mean,
girl in you loved it, is what you're saying.
that's not what I'm saying at all. But
I was just playing.
the film fan in me loved it. Hey, girls can have coming of age stories too.
I agree. I
I
agree.
don't
Well,
remember many, but
my girl is like the
yeah, that's one.
definitive coming of age girl movie. But all right, cool. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and let me do this real quick. We're gonna show a little bit of the trailer for the original Willow. Let's see.
It was a different time. It was a time of destiny. A time when a child could tip the balance between good and evil.
Why me with my powers, with the strength of my great army, can you not find one little child?
A time for an unlikely hero named Willow.
All right. So
Oh, you're so young. So
yeah,
young.
Warwick Davis was a baby. Uh, no, actually, Warwick Davis started his career like I want to say with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Was he a child in Return of the Jedi or was it Empire Strikes Back? One of them with the Ewoks.
He's like, I don't think he was a child. He may be in like
He
in
may
his
have been
early
a
20s.
teenager. Oh, early 20s. Okay.
Yeah, he's old, man. He's like 60. He's
Yeah, you could tell. You could tell the difference between Warwick Davis and you could tell the difference in between Warwick Davis and the original Willow compared
oh,
to
oh,
compared to
you
this.
you can
Meaning,
tell. You don't.
like yeah, he doesn't move. He doesn't have the same movement as he did. This is what I'm just gonna have to put that up there. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, but
I
I
mean, it's
couldn't get to.
amazing. It's an amazing poster.
It's an amazing poster.
It
It's
is.
pretty much it. Amazing poster. But Willow, the original 1988 film, starring Warwick Davis, who is also known as the Leprechaun, more famously probably known as the Leprechaun. I would say
Yeah.
he's more famously known. I knew him as Willow before I knew him as anything else. As my introduction to him was
Yeah.
Willow.
Me too.
Um, I didn't know he was an Ewok until later on in life.
Same.
But also I wanted to mention Val Kilmer in his film who steals every scene he's in. Um, and I want to mention Billy Barty. He was the High Eldwin. Um, he was one of the most famous little actors in his time. He started as a little kid, like in like the 1930s or 19, like early film, early cinema. And so I know him best in UHF. He's the cameraman. Also, if you've seen the Master of the Universe movie with Dolph Lundgren,
Yeah.
he was the he would they didn't have Orko, but they had I don't know, not Orko.
Excuse
So,
me.
but yeah, the 1988 Willow Brandon, this is your baby. So tell
My
me about it.
baby. It
It's
is my
pun intended.
fantasy. It is my favorite fantasy movie. And but when I was watching this again, I was like, really, it's more of an adventure film than it is fantasy. It does have fantasy elements, of course, with sorcery, but it's just a great adventure film about Willow. He wants to be this great sorcerer and his kids end up finding this baby, kind of like Moses.
Yeah,
You
I was gonna bring that up.
um and he's trying to get rid of the baby but at the same time he's like, oh, they're gonna blame me because their village gets attacked. He's but the what is he, the wizard sorcerer kind of
Yeah,
tasks him.
the High
And
Eldwin, the High
yeah,
Eldwin, Billy Barty.
yeah, he kind of puts the challenge on him to find somebody to take care of this baby with some other people. And that's really when they find Val Kilmer locked up, and he just wants some water. Come on, Peck, give me some water.
Yeah, it's so offensive every time they said Peck.
I know, and I missed that in the TV show. Like they only said it like once or twice, and I was
Yeah.
like,
I did want to mention this is probably the biggest since Wizard of Oz, biggest cast of little actors in a
yeah,
film since Wizard of Oz, and you can tell the difference in the TV show too. I'm going to compare and contrast like that. In the TV show, you don't see as many little
no,
of the Eldwins, but in here, like in the original, you had like I said, Billy Barty. You had Tony Cox, who you might know him best as the elf in Bad Santa.
yeah,
He's famous. He's a famous little person. But he's actually pretty young in this too. You had Phil Fundacaro. He's one of my favorite ones. He was in you remember Trolls, the original Trolls movie?
I do.
Like, yeah, he was in that. He was in that. He was the little person in that film. And then there's other people, but man, Moses. So the first thing I noticed was uh, the Moses type of elements when they put uh, Alira
Yeah.
in the best. Is it Alira? Did I say it right?
Well, they called her Laura in the sequel, so I'm assuming it's Laura.
Alira.
I
I thought
don't.
it was Alira or something. But anyway, the baby, the Willow. When I was a kid, I literally just called her the Willow baby. But but the Willow baby, they put her in the basket and sent her down river, and she was rescued by Willow's children. And yeah, man, it's just I love spending what I missed in this with the movie and what I missed in the film in the show is like it felt like a real world in a movie. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
Like the with the small people,
yeah,
Edwins, I guess. Yeah, with them, with the little the crawlers, just like it felt like a different world. The little rat type of dog monster things.
yeah.
Um,
I missed those in the show. I was
yeah,
like, where are they at? It's like I don't know. It's like the only aspect they took from the show was the little baby, Val Kilmer, and his future wife, and Willow, and that's about it. I mean, it's like the whole universe changed. Every aspect. It felt like they were trying to. I hate to say it, I really do, but they were trying to make it Star Wars with a world.
yeah. Yeah, what I didn't like about it, what took me out of the show, is the constant like dumb jokes. It's just like whereas the original had funny elements, but is naturally funny, you know,
Yeah,
like Val dressing like a woman and trying to get by and things like that, or just like little things like that, like him fumbling with the sword, you know. Um, just it was just funny by itself. It wasn't, but they just kept having jokes and also what took me out is they did this thing that a lot of shows do now. Like they had like new music
yeah.
infused in like a old medieval world. Uh and I didn't like that either. You know?
I mean, there's not much to like about the show. Like even Warwick, I love Warwick. Everybody that knows me knows I love him. Uh, he's not Willow in this, but by the end of it, I just accepted.
You called him Luke Skywalker from
Yeah, from the last, what was it? Last Jedi.
yeah.
He's older. He's dark. You know, he's lost so much. To me, he is Luke Skywalker from that movie. They finally tell that he lost his wife. His son just left. So I was like, that wasn't the direction you needed to go. You didn't
No.
need to make him dark. You know?
Yeah. I mean it doesn't make sense because the way that the movie ends, it ends on he came back as a hero and seen his
Yeah.
family and everything. Just there's no reason you could have just had his wife. I guess I imagine the actress that played his wife wasn't available, or maybe they didn't want her. I don't know, but they could have just had her pass away. That's still fine. She could have just died naturally.
Yeah.
And the son, I don't know. The lady they cast as his daughter is actually his legitimate daughter. In this in the series is Warwick's daughter in the series in the actual story. But I thought they wanted to get this show out. It felt like they wanted to get the show out, but they didn't have enough of the original people that was committed to come back.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to see the other crawler guy because I love their chemistry together. You know, Because you kept saying, when are we going to see the little dudes?
Brownies.
Yeah, the brownies. That's what they're called.
And I think it was episode 5. They finally showed up. Well, Kevin Pollak showed up.
Yeah.
Which I was happy he showed up because he was actually the same. He was just shacked up with a woman. But he sounded the same. He came off as the same. He's the only character in the show that came back that came off the same as he was in the original movie.
I was wondering what happened. I was wondering what happened to the other guy that was the other brownie. Like, is he just retired from acting, or?
I assumed he actually passed away, but I don't know.
Rick Overton. Let me see. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's why he didn't. It just says born. It doesn't say he's dead. So
maybe he is retired, or just had no interest in returning.
Yeah, it could be. Last movie he was in was like 8-Legged Freaks. So maybe that was enough to like say I'm done.
That movie will make you retire, that's for sure. but not David.
Not David. Not Arquette. No.
He's.
You mentioned this. So in the original movie, like I thought that like the cast had a good the little crew that they had that went on the journey. The original little person that went with Willow, he died in real life. That little actor died. So that's probably why. Obviously, that's why he couldn't be in the show. But yeah, I thought it worked well. I thought it worked. It was a good little fantasy. It kept me engaged.
I mean, you said this after watching it. You wrote me this. It's magical. I couldn't agree more. It was magical as a kid. It was magical as a teenager, as a young adult, and now, almost in my midlife crisis, it's still magical.
Yeah, it's true. But not the midnight.
All of it's true, Aaron.
All of it's true. Okay. But I will say that for the show, the series, I think they didn't have a likable cast. At the daughter, the princess, she was just more annoying than anything else. She had like a villain vibe.
You
the
talking
whole
about
show.
Val's daughter?
Yeah, she had a whole villain vibe the whole show.
Really?
Yeah. She came off as like villainous. And I didn't like the son. I thought that he was going to go. I wanted him to be on the journey with him. Honestly, I'd rather him been on the journey with him. Yeah, he's barely in it. And then they introduced like the last couple of episodes, like the worm or whoever the chick is that was.
It's the grandmother.
Yeah, but then she kissed him. That's weird, bro.
It is. I agree. It takes me back to the Northman. That's how weird it gets.
But
yeah, I don't understand that at all. But I like the son. I didn't mind the daughter at all. Laura's what got on my nerves. I was like, no way. We even said this. The girl, the baby.
Oh, the girl, the baby. Okay.
We both said this. The show happened like 30-something years after the fact, and they're acting like it happened 20 years. Yeah. That girl is not 20 years old. I don't care what you say. She looks 16.
Yeah.
That's top. But anyway.
Yeah. Elora is her name in the.
Elora. I swear Willow kept saying Laura.
Well,
You're cutting out on me. I can't hear you.
I just feel like he was like.
I got
you. Yeah, I just felt like he was phoning it in. Like he really didn't want to work. Yeah, I felt like Warwick was like, he was like, yeah, I'll do it. But he didn't really want to do it. That's how it came up to me. Like his whole demeanor was like you said it yourself. You said Warwick was not having fun at all.
And I don't think he initially didn't want to do it. I think he did because he had talked about it for years. But I think once he signed on and he got the final script, it's like, this is going to be trash. We're going to ruin you're not going to ruin the legacy, but you're going to ruin for people that come in today and watch it and hadn't seen the original movie. You ruined it. But for people that grew up on it,
a YouTuber. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, for people that actually grew up on Willow, there's nothing you can do today because we know how the world is today to ruin something back then. It's like the trailer said, it's a different world. It was a different world back then.
Yeah, and this is a YouTuber, Tyrone Magnus. He said when he first heard about the Willow show was happening, he said he never seen the original, or he didn't remember seeing it, but he was gonna watch the original before watching the show. But then, like, he heard reviews that talked about how woke Willow is in the series, and so instead of watching the original, he just watched somebody doing a review of it and kind of bashing the original, not original, but bashing the show. Yeah. But I guess he kind of got I got the vibe that he wasn't going to watch the original now, and that's what's tragic is, like you said, if somebody that's brand new coming in watches the Willow show, but I guess Disney Plus is taking it off so that doesn't happen. But if they came in and watched it, it could taint their thoughts of what presupposition of what the original show was, thinking it's like that, but it's not. The original show is the movie. The original movie is different.
Well, what I will say to that is, though, they showed enough footage from the original movie in the beginning you would know that it's completely different. Everything about what they showed is different what the show is. It blows my mind that the direction they took, that they didn't want something lighthearted and fun, because that's what the first movie was. It was lighthearted, it was fun, it was an adventure, it was a great fantasy film in my opinion. That's just not the direction. They wanted Star Wars, they wanted world building, they wanted brother versus sister. It's not Star Wars.
And also at first, I'm gonna be honest with the series, when it first came on, and I seen that one lady that was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, with the red hair.
Yeah,
I thought is that I was like, wait a minute, is Willow black? Not Willow, but is the Willow? I was thinking, was the Willow baby black this whole time? Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, I mean, that would be a twist. Like, so I was thinking, I was going through like, oh, she's gonna end up being the baby from the first one. She just somehow now is black. I'm like, okay, it's cool.
They changed the race to the babies.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, if they do that, I guess that's what they're doing. Okay, why not? And then, but then like it shows that it was actually the what they call Dove, the girl they call Dove, and I was like, what? And then like I was like, hold up, she had whole red hair. Why is she blonde? But then they explained it. But still, it's just I just never bought her as the baby. I never bought her.
I mean, it is sad to say that because it's a baby. But yeah, I didn't buy her growing up to be that.
Yeah, and also I'm gonna say this: that baby is twins in the original movie, but they were the most expressive babies I've ever seen, really, in a show. They reacted to everything. They did really good, like as little baby actors. They did an excellent job. And that's one part of the magic of the original Willow is that child. If they had a difficult babies on the show, it would have been hard to do. But these babies that they had seemed like they really did hit their marks. Like I don't know how it works with babies, but they did a good job, is what I'm saying. I wish that the grown-up version of the baby was as good, but she wasn't. I said it.
Oh man. I don't know where to go from there. I'll tell you where I will go though. For the show, the one thing I did like, it was with the daughter searching for her father, and you get to a certain point. I think it's episode 6 where she hears his voice. That is Jack Kilmer. He
Oh,
plays him.
that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, he sounds just like him, and I was like, man. I saw the show going in a different route, and I was hoping it was. I hope they were going to find him alive still.
Yeah.
But they went a different direction, of course, because
why not
suck all the air out of this? Let's not give the people what they really want.
Do you feel like Jack Kilmer looks like his dad at all?
Yeah, I remember watching the documentary.
They could have did something where they casted him as a younger, like Matt, you know, Matt. What's the name?
Or they could have been like he found the fountain of youth in his adventure. I mean, you could have done something.
Oh, yes, that would have been much better than what they did. Well, I was happy for Christian Slater. That was, and I thought,
yeah, that was the best episode.
I was like, oh, great. I was like, well, I'm okay with it. I really perked up. I'm like, oh, I'm okay if we're gonna have Christian Slater continue with us on this adventure. I was like, that'd be great, but no, no.
He brought life to it, though. He did.
He did. He brought life, and then they sucked it right out again.
Yeah, they killed him.
They...
Spoiler: he dies. How I just said it, it's how they sucked the life out of it. I just sucked the life out of seeing him, but that's what the show did for us. It sucked the life. We were happy for a moment. A moment we were happy.
Yeah, like first in the cage, I was like first in the cage, I was like, hey, let me go finish shooting. Go in there. Zanzi. Anyway, but yeah, first I was like, okay, we're gonna I'm like, okay, we're gonna have Val Zanzi, seriously. All right, you can come in a minute. But yeah, first I was like, all right, man, we're gonna have I thought in the cage it was gonna be Val Kilmer for some reason, but it wasn't. I was like, okay. it's just the things about a live podcast. Anyway, but yeah, that's not what we got. We got instead, not that. We got we did get Christian Slater, and I was happy for that moment. I think the show ended like the cast that we had. So many things. Like for one, what's the guy's name? Tony Revolori. He played Graydon, aka the first killer in the new Scream film.
Okay, him. Yeah,
that guy. Flash.
I didn't buy him at all. To be honest with you, I haven't bought him in anything I've seen him in.
Me neither.
I hate him as Flash and Spider-Man. I'm glad he
got
satisfying
killed. It's so satisfying in Scream for him to.
Yeah, that was, to me, that's his best performance. I'm sorry, it is.
His best performance is dying.
Yes, I want more of it. Not in real life, of course, but in cinema, I just want. He dies really well. He's Anywho,
that's funny. He should be the new guy. What's it called? Bean. What's his name? Bean that always dies in everything he's in. The guy from Game of Thrones. I forget his name. Anyway,
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. Yeah, that's who this guy should be. He should be the new Sean Bean, just dying everything he's in.
Make a good living off that.
Hey, people pay good money to see him die and stuff. But but yeah, no, I didn't buy him at all.
I do agree with you, though. The cast wasn't good. I didn't feel like the acting was atrocious or anything. It's just the characters weren't well written. You didn't really care either way. I mean, like, I'm a massive Willow fan, but it wasn't the Willow I knew, so I ultimately didn't care. I wanted to.
You said you checked out pretty early too, so
Episode 3 was when it officially started for me, and it just got worse. I did like some things in episode 4 when they were showing like ghost characters from the first movie,
mhm.
like the villains. I like that aspect, but to me it was more of we don't know where to go.
You know who the best person I enjoyed in the show was actually,
Christian Slater.
other than Christian Slater, was the main Ralph Innocent. He played Commander Ballantine, the one that got possessed. He's the father from the Witch. From Witch.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. I knew I
yeah.
saw him from something.
He has a voice that's very distinctive, that gravelly voice. But he, I liked him.
Good.
I liked him seriously. And I was like, is he going to be the big bad? Because it'd be kind of different, you know. But yeah, just I didn't like most of the cast. I think that one dude that was like, they try to get him to be like they try to get him to be like Val Kilmer's character.
He was awful.
The thief guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
whatever
awful.
Yeah. He wasn't. He's no Val. You're no Val Kilmer, but Val Kilmer can't speak right, and he's still a better actor than you are.
That's a burn and a half.
Because no, seriously, Val.
No, Val's great though.
Val didn't utter one word in Top Gun Maverick, and killed it. Killed his performance.
I mean, Val is one of those underappreciated actors that got shafted, you know, when he should have been in his prime, you know, and Hollywood just stopped working with him, and he had to do very low budget films, and he was too good for that, you know. But yeah, I mean, I wish life been different for him, that where he could have appeared in this, because I guarantee if he would have appeared, because I know how he is, if you watch the documentary, he wants to do it perfectly. He wouldn't have allowed this show to happen.
Yeah. You know what? And that's what, and honestly, part of me wanted to see Willow and Matt Mardigan, is his name?
Yeah.
I wanted to see them again together. Like that's what you look for. That's the duo that you had in the first movie that you want to see them together.
You do, but you know, if you know Val's condition, you knew it wasn't going to happen. But I still thought it was going to be a fun time. I mean, I didn't think they were going to go this direction with it, and it really shocked me.
Like, you know what? And the thing is, and another thing that they did, which was terrible. Okay, so they had the girls, the very, very first episode, the girls kissed. But then throughout the rest of the show, it was like this subtext of will they, won't they? But they literally kissed the first episode. Like that makes everything else pointless. Just like,
you know, and
who wrote this? Problem. Who did this?
I tell you, Ron Howard was an executive producer, but that don't mean nothing because he probably just signed it off. Okay.
You pay me and I'll let you use it. I'll let you do it. That's what happened.
But he was in talks to direct a movie sequel, and it just fell through, I guess. And George Lucas had no say whatsoever. But you don't do a sequel without the guys that brought the first movie to life.
Yeah.
They have to be involved somehow, and they clearly weren't. I know George Lucas wasn't. He wouldn't have signed off on this, you know. But, you know, it is what it is. But as far as the girls kissing, my issue with that is they're trying to make it like today's world. And it's a fantasy film. It's an adventure film. It's supposed to be a adventure series, a fantasy series. It is fantasy, but it shouldn't be like what today is. It should be Willow, for God's sake. You know what I'm saying? Come on. It should be Willow.
I feel you. It should be Willow. He's right. It should be Willow. But all right, we can go ahead and give our marks. Is there anything else you want to mention about it?
I really like Christian Slater and the Trolls in episode 6.
Yeah. I wish that they would have They set it up for this show. It's dead in the water. Listen, Disney Plus. Honestly, Mandalorian is what you have, and then like maybe Obi-Wan, and then the Marvel shows. And when I say the Marvel shows, I literally just mean Falcon and Winter Soldier, and what's that with
Miss
Hawkeye?
Marvel wasn't too bad.
Hawkeye was great.
Yeah,
I thought
but
WandaVision was good.
she's done. She
Yeah.
says, and Jeremy's still recovering. I think. I
Yeah.
don't think he can film anything right now. So
No.
I mean, at least you got Guardians 3 from Marvel.
We have Guardians.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you
Other than
got.
that, I think Marvel's done. But anyway, but
And they
but
have
never-
Spider-Man, so that'll
they
keep
have-
people coming.
they kind of have Spider-Man. But
Well, until he
uh,
officially moves on, they will
but-
have a Spider-Man. I guarantee it. Miles Morales will be their Spider-Man.
But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and give you my marks for this movie show. Well, movie first. Movie 5 markouts out of 5. It's a great. It's one of those great 80s fantasy movies, kind of alongside Legend. Just kind of it's better than Legend. Legend is not as good, but this it was just in that time, like never in the story. That kind of just that journey type of stuff. That's what I liked about it. I gave it 5. What'd you give the original?
Oh, it's a 5. I mean, that movie is magic. It's still magic to me. I love it. And Aaron shuts the door.
Just a little bit. I can hear the noise. But all right, for the show.
Oh yes, I'm awaiting this. I feel like it's going to be very much lower than mine.
One mark out.
One.
Yeah, one. One.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
because although I love Christian Slater, if if the whole show was just Christian Slater on the journey, maybe as Mad Mardigan's brother, and he comes on the journey, and he's going to be with Willow and stuff, and there's going to be more of that. Christian would have elevated the rest of the series, I think, more.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Christian Slater and get rid of the thief dude. Get rid of him.
Yes. It would have been much
Get rid of the that little weasel guy from Spider-Man and Scream. Get rid of that dude. And literally, I've been okay with the cast with that. Just add Christian and get rid of them too. I think that you've been okay.
Before I give my score, here's what I will say. The cast was too big. I think you just needed Willow. I would have took Christian Slater and maybe the 2 kids on a journey. But I also would want the wife, the mom, to be more involved than she was.
Oh, she was sidelined too. She was sidelined as well.
Other than that first episode, I think she appeared once. I just would have went in a different direction. I think it should have been simple, like the first movie. Just been fun, adventurous, and magic. But my score, I gave it a 2 on Letterboxd. But I think it was like a half a star until episode 6. Christian Slater moved it up a lot for me. That episode I really liked. I'm gonna go a little higher than you. I'm not gonna give it a 2. After talking about it, it's made me hate it even more. I'm gonna go 1.5 on the markout meter out of 5.
Okay.
It's terrible. I understand why it's disappeared from Disney Plus and it should never be seen again.
You should never see the light of day. I will say that real quick. I think that they dropped the ball in a sense. If they could have had Val at all, or even Val's son or something, or do a double thing where you have Val acting and then his son speaking for him to make it sync. Maybe, I don't know, but they could have did something in the episode where they was in the world, in that realm of hey, you stay here with us, this is where you want to be, that kind of, they're trying to trap them into that fake reality.
Yeah.
That could have been That could have been great, like to have him there. Uh, I'm glad I heard his voice, well,
Yeah.
through via his son. But I don't know. It just this show did more damage to Willow. No, I would say that it did damage to Willow going forward. Just like
Yeah,
I
there's
feel like,
no.
yeah. I feel like it killed it dead in the water. Like where it's how I feel about personally. It's how I feel about the Halloween series. I feel that way because I think Halloween ends killed it, and I just at this point I have
You have to
retired.
reboot.
You literally have to reboot it, and thank God the Scream's still going strong. But that's what I have to
Yeah,
say.
I don't think Willow will be touched again. It's sad to me. I always thought he deserved a sequel, a true sequel, like a couple years after the first movie. But if this is the direction they want to go in, I don't ever want to see anything.
Was it considered a flop? Is that why it didn't get touched so
It was.
immediately?
It didn't flop, but it wasn't a gigantic hit either. I think it broke even. But it wasn't supposed to be what it was either. I mean, it wasn't. It was just. It was a little film. It wasn't supposed to. I think people made it out to be something more because George Lucas was attached. But it's not like it cost a whole lot of money. I mean, especially back then. But I don't know.
Yeah,
it had a cult following. That's all I know. When I was a kid,
I'm trying to see what was released with Willow in theaters at that time, because like in '88, let's see. Well, let's see. I'm trying to see when it was originally released. I'm curious to see because that could mean it can mean a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like what it came out with. I think that's what hurts a lot of films is when they release. Let's see. Original release date for Willow. 1988. Came out May 20th, 1988. All right, what movies was released May 20th, 1988? All right, okay. This is why it didn't do well. All right. That day, Willow came out. Maybe it did, but it did pretty good. Friday 13th part, or the New Blood, whichever part that is.
7.
Yeah, is that what Carrie?
Yeah.
All right. Colors came out, which is like that cop movie.
Show. Robert Duvall, Sean Penn.
Yeah. Beetlejuice came out.
Well, that was huge.
Yeah.
So a lot came out. A lot.
Yeah.
Didn't really have much of a chance.
Yeah.
But I think it did okay. I don't think it was like a major flop or anything.
It grossed 8,000. I don't know numbers. It grossed a lot. It did good. But yeah, it's just interesting. But I'm just curious to see that. But that explains it. Like it has gained a cult following now.
Yeah.
And people wanted to see more Willow, but this isn't how to do it.
This wasn't how to do it. I mean, if George Lucas got the rights back, I could see him doing something with it. But Disney, no, I don't see them ever touching it again.
All right.
And they shouldn't because they don't know what they're doing.
next week's episode, I will be choosing. I'm doing Last Action Hero.
Totally off the left field, man. What is it streaming on?
Last Action Hero is on Netflix.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, it's that deal they made with Arnold. Okay. Like he's like in control of their action department or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm gonna I'm verifying it real quick.
He's got a documentary coming out and everything. I mean,
he has a new show out.
Yeah, I saw the first episode. I liked it. I've heard that's the best episode. It goes downhill from there, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I really like the first episode though.
Yeah, we're gonna revisit Last Action Hero.
All right.
Which would be good because it's a movie that I didn't like initially because I didn't know what I was going into. But I think over time it's kind of grown on me because I understand the satire of it.
Yeah.
And so it makes more sense to me. So yeah, I can't wait to talk about it. But Brandon, what do you want the people to do?
Well, if you like this episode and you want to see more, click that like button, click that share button, comment with any future requests that you may have, and subscribe to the Markout Movie Podcast channel, both on YouTube and Facebook.
That's right. And then you can follow us on our other social media stuff, on Facebook, on TikTok, as long as Brandon still has it.
If you're talking about TikTok, I still have it.
Or maybe he's just not.
You're cutting out on me.
All right.
So barely hearing it.
Yeah, you cut out too. You froze. But all right. We thank you for watching. Thank you for marking out with us. You have a good rest of your weekend. Have a happy Memorial Day. Thank you for the troops that have fought and lost their lives to keep this country safe. We thank you for your sacrifice. And have a good rest of your day.
Well said.